This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Mike Gundy. You guys remember Mike Gundy, right? I'm a man. I'm 40. You know, all that stuff. Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. So he had some coronavirus comments, right? And his listen, the problem with Mike is he didn't live in reality. Now, it's not a Mike Gundy thing. It happens to a lot of people, like I told you. There's a lot of people that have underestimated this whole thing. And Mike Gundy was one guy that underestimated it, and he expected to have his team May 1st in the building. And he goes, I've been made aware of the comments from my press conference have offended some. Gundy said in a statement, it was never my intention to offend anybody, and I apologize. My first priority is and will always be student athletes doing what is best for the program and the university. Now, let me explain with Mike Gundy apologizing for all of this. Let me explain what's wrong with his stupid-ass comments. Okay? First of all, he was a dumbass for assuming that he was going to have his players and everybody on May 1st. That is a lack of awareness of what's going on around you. When the CDC and the government have told you, hey, man, for the next 30 days, we're shut down. So that's all of April. In May, they will start to discuss what to do in May. But we haven't even gotten to May yet, so that doesn't mean you even are free to go anywhere in May. It might be June. But the fact that you're that ignorant, okay? And look, I get that the whole thing with Corona/COVID, whatever you want to call it, it's been politicized a lot. And then a lot of you that are party zombies, right? You're either on one side of the fence or the other side, and then that's where you're, in your arguments, you know what I mean? Which you shouldn't be on any side of the fence because this isn't a political issue. This is a health issue for the world, okay? It's the way we got to look at it. But unfortunately, there are people that are politicizing it, and there's one side that seems to take it serious, and then there's another side that has a whole bunch of holes in it because there's a whole bunch of people that aren't looking at it seriously. And it's not just Mike Gundy. It's all over the world, man. England's in the world of trouble that they're in because they didn't take it serious. Italy's in the trouble that they're in because they didn't take it serious. Okay? We didn't take it serious enough early on either. Happens all over the world. You have people that you know, friends of yours, family members of yours, that continue to compare this to a damn cold. And it's not a cold, right? So everything about what Mike Gundy said, the optics of it, the irresponsibility, the lack of awareness, he was completely out of touch. Okay? Totally out of. You couldn't be more out of touch than what Mike Gundy did. And now he apologizes. And then listen to the apology. I have been made aware that comments from my press conference have offended some. Wow. So it tells you that his initial statement was stupid and ignorant. And then somebody had to tell him, because since his statement is stupid and ignorant, he's too stupid and ignorant to realize that he's offending people. So I've been made aware that my comments from my press conference have offended some. That in itself is an embarrassment, that the leader of your football program, the face pretty much of your university, okay, because really nobody knows the dean. Mike Gundy might be, the head coach of all the major football programs in this country are probably the faces of their schools. So this is probably the most important figure that people know of. Not really the most important figure, but the one that people know. Oklahoma State, name me an administrator, name me a coach, name me a teacher. They'll go Mike Gundy. They probably won't be able to name anybody else. So this is the guy setting your example. And then he follows it up with this. It was never my intention to offend anyone, and I apologize. More like, I don't care if I was offending you. And they're forcing me to apologize. And then he follows up with, my first priority is and will always be the student athletes and doing what's best for the program and the university. Well, if that was the case, then you wouldn't want to risk your kids by putting them out there on May 1st. Hey, our governor over the weekend said, I am contemplating thinking about getting kids back to school in May because this doesn't seem to affect young people. I tweeted him back. I said, old people teach young people. So the governor basically wants to, make our kids killers because that's what they are. They're murderers. You do know that, right? You send kids back to school in May, they'll be killing the principal and the assistant principal and the janitor and the teachers and, everybody that's old because everybody's older than they are. And sure, the youngins might get a little sniffle and then they got to go home for a couple of weeks and they'll be back, but their teacher may never come back. Their teacher's in the cemetery down the street. So even our governor, okay, which I thought was doing a pretty good job overall until I saw that comment now. I was like, okay, your ignorance is just, you're a dumbass. Let's just,
the counties in the city saved him, man.
Let's just go and get this involved right now. Let's get the kids back. So this is what's wrong with all of this, is that we have people that are ignorant as hell, and they still don't get this. They don't respect it, man. They don't respect it. Paul Castronovo, sir, I don't know if you're watching or listening, but our thoughts and prayers go out to you. He lost his dad to the COVID-19 virus. And if you follow him on Twitter and you'll know on social media, but, look for, Adam Cooperstein last week lost his dad, and now Paul Castronovo lost his dad. And these are two men that checked out earlier than they were supposed to. Okay? That's the other thing. Early on, you get this attitude from people. Well, it only affects older people. Oh, so what you're saying is you don't give a rat's ass if older people die. Oh, okay. All right. So when your mom dies, or your dad dies, or your grandfather dies, it's just older people, right? Just chalk it up that way. I mean, that's the cavalier attitude that I got from some people. It only affects old people. And really it doesn't, by the way. It affects all ages. Obviously, if you're older, you're more susceptible to it. But young people are dying from this. Single digits, teens, 20s, 30s, they're also dying from this. The thing about this virus is when you get it, you might treat it like the common cold. It might be a lot worse than the common cold, and you might get through it. But there could be that third option, that it just flat out kills your ass. And we don't know who it kills and who it doesn't and who it's more, because there are people that are dying that are healthy, and they're dying from it. And Mike Gundy wants to, don't tell me that you're worried about your student athletes. If you were, you know how you answer that question, Mike Gundy? This is how you answer it. Well, we're hoping to get back on the field as soon as possible. Once the CDC and the university and the government have all come to an agreement and they feel it's safe for our students, our student athletes, our administrators, our coaches, and everybody to be together in the same room, on the same field, then we'll get back to playing football here at Oklahoma State. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a date for you. I'm not an expert, and we don't know where this virus stands. Let's just hope and pray for the best. That's how Mike Gundy's supposed to answer it, because that's the truth. You don't know, and you've got to first show that you care about humanity before you make the statement. When you just say, we'll be back on the field May 1st, I intend to have all my players there, you're not even taking into account everybody's health, including yours, by the way. Which, let me tell you, Mike Gundy, if there's one thing I'd like the COVID to kill on you is your mullet. 786-322-1105. So if he can, catch the COVID and it just attacks his mullet, I'm good with that. Okay, I don't want to wish COVID on anybody. The one dude that I could have wished it on is already dead. Castro, he died already. So that's the only guy that I would have wished COVID on over and over again. Okay? Outside of that, for Mike Gundy, I just hope there's COVID that attacks his mullet. Okay? That's it.
Interesting. A hair-attacking virus.
Yeah, a hair attack. That's what we need, a hair-attacking virus. I mean, it's 2020. The man has a mullet. I mean, come on. That's the other thing. Think about this. Your head coach has a mullet. I mean, it's got to be in the contract too, right? If I am the AD of a university and I'm negotiating with a coach, I'm going to say, well, there's a couple requirements here. First of all, we don't want you to be a criminal. Second of all, we don't want you to have a mullet. Huh? Yeah, no, that's a deal breaker right there. Yeah, no, the mullet went out with Dwayne Shinsius. No, we can't do that, bro. I mean, that should be in the negotiations for Oklahoma State. No mullets required. For Phil Collins, it was no jacket required. Well, here at Oklahoma State, you should have it in the contract. No mullets required in order to coach our team. I mean, come on. A mullet in 2020.